everybody little tapping with the pot with Tigmatic.
Y'all tune into the Pop Podcast. And guess what? There's an
episode of me on it. You are tuned into the Pot Podcast.
And with the Pot Podcast with my boy Tigmatic. You hear me? It's going down.
To follow the Pot Podcast with Tigmatic.
That's that number one.
That's that number one.
V-Ray's going too hard though. Don't cry, dry your eyes till we when faith be low and trust it hard till we It's like I prayed and I prayed and I praise some more. It's like the desires of my heart won't on your mind no more. Drowned in the water, couldn't find you, no car, see a boat. Know why you ignoring me, yeah. Seen people blessed with my request, like now you gotta be teasing. Telling myself it's in due season, like I'm really believing. My blessing came once I realized delayed for a reason. You not hear me, yeah. Don't cry, dry your eyes till we when faith be low and trust it hard till we
Never plan ahead, live up in the moment. Put my trust in God, cause he never leave me lonely. I was trusting in my homies till he showed me they won't for me. I just wait on God, cause he'll remove them. Man of many talents, I just try my best to use them. Gotta feel my purpose, if I don't, my life was useless. This a different type of music, but who else will built to do this? I just wait on God and let him use me. When faith get low and trust get hard, don't cry, wait on God, on God, on God, on God.
Don't cry, dry your eyes till we when faith be outside his will. That I'ma do nothing but trust him despite how I feel. When your emotions don't change your confession, it's real. You gotta keep your face strong. That's the simplest I know. Guard what you look at and what you let between your ears. God good, his showers of comfort outweigh all your stress. It's true, I had to share this good news to all my peers. Your timing, not his timing, and the spirit I heard him say. If he didn't do it, no, it's not because it couldn't be done. You just weren't mature enough to handle it. And he ain't just gonna bless anyone. Wait on God. Don't cry, dry your eyes till we on God. When faith is low and trust is hard till we on God.
Yo, what's up, y'all? You're now tuned into another episode of the Pot Podcast with Tigmatic. Hey, listen, it's your boy. We here today. It's a good Wednesday. Y'all call it Hump Day. I call it God's Day because it's another day of the week. But hey, y'all, listen, we moving and booming. And as always, this episode is brought to you by Collywood TV, Collywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, TheMoneyBrand.com, and North Shade the More Boutique. Hey, listen, I'm very excited to have my guest that's here today. Y'all just don't know. Listen, he got one of the most popping shows that I've ever seen as far as pods go. Y'all know I'm a podcaster too, but he on a different level. You know what I'm saying? This is what I aspire to be as far as podcasting and talking that talk and carrying the culture. Because that's what he do. He carry the culture. You know what I'm saying? And he's very humble, and I like that about him. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I asked him to come here. You know, he's going to share his story. He's also a Philadelphia native. He's from the north side. I'm from the south side. So we're going to have a good talk. We're going to chop it up in this joint. Y'all going to hear me talking Philly lingo today, you know what I mean? Or as we say, you know what I'm saying? Like, we going to do our thing, you know what I'm saying? But my guest is a 2-time Image Award winner. He is a singer, songwriter, CEO, and host of the Culture Talk Show. He began singing in church as a kid in Philadelphia and later built a career that includes performances for President Bill Clinton, collaborations with gospel legends, major media partnerships, and a distribution deal with Empire. So we're going to talk about it all today, y'all. So I'm happy to have him here. So I give y'all the one, the only, Bashir Hogue. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on, guy? How you feel?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. I'm happy to see you. I'm blessed.
That's good,
Welcome to the
man.
podcast with Tigmatic, man.
I'm happy to be on, man. I'm chilling. Happy to be on. This is great. It's great.
Yeah, man. So for those that sleep under a rock and don't know who you are, give them a rundown of who you are like only you can yourself. Solo dolo cam on you.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, my name is Bashir Hogue. As you stated a few minutes ago, I'm from the north side of Philadelphia. Singer, writer, podcast host, CEO. And that's what I do. I help people with, certain things when it reference to doing benefit concerts and, et cetera. So that's what I am. I mean, I'm not a big fuss. I just do, I just do the work, and then the work is a body by itself. So, but me apart from the body, me apart from that, I'm just Bashir. I'm chilling, that's me. Yeah, that's me pretty much.
Hey, man, that's dope within itself, man. And it's
Yeah.
good to have you here.
Same
Welcome.
here.
You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So let's get into it, because I know, we got an hour, so we're going to get it done the way we need to get it done. You feel me?
Okay, that works. That works.
All right. So growing up in Philadelphia, what was life like for young Bashir before the awards and recognition and everything else? Break it down.
So breaking it down for you guys for how it was growing up in Philly. It was different than it is now.
Yeah.
Uh it was definitely different. I lived at 29th in Oxford. And we had, we had like it was family. The whole block was family, So when one get in trouble, all of us get in trouble. We had that one lady that would, spank us, and the parents would allow it, So we had that, and then we played jacks. We played, I had the go karts. We made our own go karts. You know what I'm saying? And then we
Yeah.
also had the basketball. We didn't really have basketball. Of course, we had the
Milk
milk
crate.
crates. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So on Hollywood Street, so but growing up was also growing up in Philly also let me know uh that it was a place where people can be themselves. Philly, they gonna be who they gonna be. And
Yeah.
it's nothing. Philly don't put on too much. They don't. You gonna what you see is what you get. So with growing up in that, I grew up in that. I grew up in the realistic stuff. When it came to stuff like that. You had the book of food stamps. They had different colors. So we
5,
would go to the
10,
store.
20, 50,
Yeah, so we could
100.
go to the so we go to the store and get the different colors. We would try to wait till somebody buy this and then say, "All right, they left. Like here you go." But yeah, we had the now laters. You know what I mean, stuff like that. So growing up in Philly was great for me. Because I had a childhood. And many
Yeah.
kids today don't have childhoods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world is so antisocial now, and it was very social back then.
Yes, it
You had
was.
many friends to play with, and
Yeah.
once those lights, come on,
There
your folks is gonna be hitting you up like,
you
"Yo,
go. Yep. There you go.
let's go."
Yep.
You
There
see
you
them
go.
lights, and we
Right.
would try to stay out as long as we could. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't see the lights on yet.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us about your singing, man. You grew up in the church, right? Singing in the
Yeah.
church. How did that come about? How did you first grow a love for music?
Um, I grew a love for music. It wasn't really so I sung in the church and because my mom, went to church and she still is in church and we're all still in church, but we grew up in church, but I didn't it's not the music I liked. I liked when I saw Michael Jackson, I think 81 or something like that, do the moonwalk and I said, "Mom, I want to do that." She said, "You crazy." She said, "You ain't doing that." She said, "You don't even know what you doing." I said, "I do know what he's doing." And I was always my grandmother would have like get-togethers at her house. So she would have the camcorder, that you had to hold. And she
Yeah,
would record us, dancing. And so I would always be dancing in front of it and then singing and then like making up songs. So um I did that and but what was infused was the gospel was gospel music in the church. So that's how things happen. And then, my mom put me in the choir. And then they gave me a really adult song, which was "Trouble Don't Last Always" by Timothy Wright. So that was my first lead. And then when I got that lead, and then I sung for the first time in front of my church, they was like, "Yo, he got a gift." So my mom was like, "Oh boy!" So she had to, keep me going when it came to the particular gift. One of the things I appreciate my mom about was that she kept harnessing on my gift and my
yeah.
talent. She didn't let up. She said, "This is what you got to do." And but my vision was basically bigger. She was like, "Calm down, start one at a time." So that's how I got into the music. When it came to gospel music, I sung on the choirs. I led praise and worship. I directed some of the choirs and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah,
Oh,
still
that's
is,
fire,
still is.
man.
Yeah, it
Your
still
your
is.
mom definitely saw that you had something there, and there was a spark there, and you was
Yeah,
inspired by the greatest of all time musically, MJ.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Me
yeah.
too. I was inspired by him, and I was singing in church, but I wound up leaning more towards rap as the years went on.
Got
but
you.
I can sing a little bit. I can sing a little
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
I do a little both like you. I dabble in both types of music.
Got you.
So you might hear one sound one time, and then you might hear another.
Okay.
And I think that's cool. To be
Yeah.
musically sound, to experiment and
Absolutely.
try different things. So here's my next question to you.
Sure.
Your parents played a major role in encouraging your talent. How much did their support mean to you?
Mm. It meant a lot. My parents' support meant a lot to me because I got a lot of no's from my parents. I didn't
Yeah,
get a lot of yeses. And the reason why I got no's is because apparently they saw things that I didn't see, that I didn't care that they saw when I was younger. So I was just like, no, y'all don't understand. And they understood because they saw vultures, when people came up to them like, yo, I want to coach your son. I want to do this with your son. And, and they was like, nah, we good. you know, and my
yeah,
mom was like, nah, and certain things, you
protecting
had,
you.
yeah. So you had people coming up to her in church and say, "I want to, take your son under my wing," and she was like, "I don't think so. He got a dad at home." So the support that I got from my parents were together until my dad passed away, but the support I got from them was always, if you want to do it, it's hard work. One thing my dad always told me: sit in the hard chair when you want to do something, because it'll become uncomfortable for you. So until you harness on it, then you can sit in soft chairs, be comfortable. But when you're getting into something, sit on hard chairs. So I would do that, and I was like, "Yo, this ain't," So that was a big support. My dad was a dad. He was black man. Mom had the more boisterous voice, but my dad was still there. He didn't say
When
much because my
daddy
mom was
said
like,
something, it meant something.
yeah. So basically, their support to me was, and it was always at my shows. So yeah, they have,
Oh, that's fire.
yeah,
Shout out to mom and dad. My
yeah.
condolences on your dad.
Oh yeah, it's
I
cool.
recently
Yeah.
lost my mom 8 months ago. So having
Oh
that
wow,
support, she was
yeah,
my support.
yeah.
So I know
Condolences to
what
you.
it's like. Thank you, brother. But
Yeah,
having that support is always a great thing.
absolutely. Yeah,
It actually helps you harness your skill. You know what I'm
it
saying?
does.
So
It does. It
yeah,
does.
man, that's shout
Yeah,
out to them for harnessing the talent,
yeah,
and we see it. For
yeah.
those that do see it and know about what you do, listen, you got one of them voices, brothers, very soulful and very
Appreciate it.
anointed.
God bless you.
That's something only God can give, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's definitely fire, man.
God
So
bless you.
here's my next question. Solo
Yeah.
Dolo King again.
Mhm.
All right. What struggles did you face as an artist that people might not know about?
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah, this is a mental health show, so we get into it.
yeah. Am I good enough?
Mm, talk about
Am
it,
I
brother.
yeah, am I good enough? Like I would look at people and envy them. I would look
Mm,
at them and be envious and jealous of them, both emotions, and not realizing that I had the goods. I didn't realize I had to practice to get to be good, but I looked at them not knowing that, okay, they went through some things to get where they are. I don't know what they went through. It could have been bad, it could have been good, But when I looked at that, that was a struggle for me, and also just a circle. And I didn't do clicks too well. I don't like clicks too much. I've
me
always,
neither. Listen,
man.
that's something we got in common.
I don't, because, and I think people think that, when cliques are formed in certain areas of the industry or family or whatever you have it, they think it's like, oh no, it's just a social gather. Well, if they know the meaning, a clique is basically something that people form together that exclude other people. So and we all in this thing together. So I experienced that a lot in the uh in that particular area of the gospel genre, I experienced that a lot, and um, it wasn't pleasant because days I would go home and cry, like, "Oh, what's going on?" And when I was married, I would, talk to my wife, my ex-wife, like, "Yo, what's up with them?" I understand. She was just like, "Yo, just chill out," and because I was always high strung anyway, so I was like, "They don't like me," and even when I was younger, I would go off, when we had the MySpace, like, "Oh, y'all ain't gotta like me," and not realizing God was like, "No, I need you to chill," and it didn't come until that realization didn't come into me. That realization of me being enough didn't come to me until my grandmother said, "You are enough, just chill." It's a timing for everything. And
Yeah.
so that, but the struggle was basically a lot of people. And you mentioned gift, and you mentioned God given, and I know that God gave me this talent and gift. And the thing is, when I would sing in front of people, it would be something. It would be different for me. Like, I wouldn't. It's not me. So people always ask me, like, when you go on stage or you sing, whatever, you turn into a whole different person. Well, that's what you're really supposed to do anyway,
Yep.
because it's your gift taking over and you're the anointing taking over. So,
That's right.
and when that would happen, I would get a lot of, like, not a lot, but mainly from men. They would get us stares like, "Yo, who you think he is?" and stuff like that. And women like, "Oh, okay." But
So they
you
feel like
know,
you showboating.
there you go. So, and that's what I would get within the industry. So I don't get it too much as they're used to, because things are happening where people are like, "Oh no." So that's one of the struggles, and just basically, I think back then you had the CDs. You really had some A&Rs where they really had to make sure you had talent, and those were the struggles, and those, but I like those though. I like those struggles because it taught me and so many others how to appreciate what you have now. So yeah, that was a few of the struggles that I had.
Oh man, I think that's fire. First of
Yeah,
all, I want to say thank you for your level of transparency, man, because
absolutely.
to say everything you started off with about envy and jealousy, a
Hmm.
lot of us at times, as men especially, we
Yeah.
have a hard time admitting that,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
I was a person that wasn't a jealous person, but I definitely was an envious person.
Right.
Watching my friends have success, and I'm wondering why not me. So
Yeah.
I had that feeling at one point in life. So I can relate, brother. So I think that's
Yeah.
awesome that you shared that and said that to the world, as
Yeah.
we share with each other. So my next question to you is this:
Mhm.
how did being raised in Philly shape your personality and your grind mentality? Because listen, you be grinding, bruh. I it need to be studied. I'm gonna keep it funky with people. What you be doing need to be studied. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna talk like Philly talk how we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man, break it down. Like
So I was always so I'll put it this way. A lot of things start from home. So m- my work ethics and hard work most of the time started at home, because I am I have five other siblings, and the four were at home with my mom and dad. The My sister was, in Virginia, and most of the times, when my mom would leave, she would put me in a responsibility to watch my brothers and sisters, even though I had
so,
an older
so
brother.
you the oldest? Oh, all right, you're not even the oldest.
No, no, no. So I would have a lot of responsibility to make sure the house was clean and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
So I would, and knowing how my mom is, well, was and still is a little bit. She was a workaholic too. She would clean all the time, and we got that. So every day I'm, waking up, making my bed, and sometimes people say, well, if you make up your bed, you gotta get back in it. So I'll make it up. Well, it's a discipline. So the thing was, I
absolutely.
had a lot of
Training.
discipline. Yeah, training. So the training came from home. So I I I put that in the work that I do now. And when people, you're not the first person that said you always do. And the thing is, I say this because um, the work speaks for itself. When you put the grind in. And one thing I'll say this about Philly. Philly, we do know how to grind. We do know how to. We do not.
Fact.
We not a hustle. We got
Yeah,
some. We
that's a
all got some
fact.
game going on. And like I don't care if you selling socks or whatever. Even if it's illegal, you still you
Yep,
still
Sock Man still gonna make a knot,
you still gonna
and
do
he
it.
gonna
So
go all over the city selling
all of
socks.
this, all of the city, right? So, but the thing is, it's just that with that, it came a lot of okay balance because you are human too. Your
Yeah,
body can say, "Oh, yo, what's up?" You about
time to
to,
slow down.
yeah, you about to break down.
Yeah,
So I try to now listen to my body, and if it says, "Oh, all right, that's it," I'll stop because I don't want to be dead trying to do stuff. But the thing is, my grind came from the discipline in the home. So that's the way I can explain it. Yeah,
oh man, that's fire because once again, the parents are key, folks.
there you go.
You know,
There you go.
so for all y'all that got them babies, stay together.
Stay together.
Stay together. Cause it helps the child. You know what
It
I'm saying? It
does.
brings a
It
certain
does.
discipline.
It
So
does.
you know what I mean? I definitely respect it. All
Yeah,
right, so here's the next one.
absolutely.
We're gonna talk music now.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk about accomplishments.
Okay. That
You're a
works.
two-time Image Award winner.
Hmm.
What did receiving those awards mean emotionally and spiritually?
Wow. Uh well, receiving those awards emotionally first, I was a wreck. Because yeah, man, I was a wreck. Only because when I was at the actual award show, it was talks. Some talks with some executives like he ain't gonna get it. And I mean, these are the execs saying it, like I just want to let you know you sing it on the main show, but you ain't gonna get it because we got some other. And I was like, what? I'm like this nigga. I mean, what I mean? I was like, what? What was nigga talking to? But like, I had to chill, and I was a wreck emotionally because I really wanted it because I worked my butt off for it. And I'm sitting there, and emotionally, they call my name. I mean, they call my name, and I didn't get up because I'm still going through it emotionally in my
Yeah,
head.
you didn't hear
And
it
they
didn't
was,
register for
I
you
ain't
that
hear
you
nothing,
won.
bro. It was like a minute and a half. They was like, "Yo, you." I was like, "Oh, all right." So I went up there, and I had nothing prepared because I didn't really think I was gonna win. But spiritually, 'cause I'm gonna be very, very transparent with you. Spiritually, it didn't mean anything. Because it didn't feed me spiritually.
Mm,
Uh but the thing was spiritually, God allowed me to know that through his word that you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you.
that's right.
However, that award thing didn't feed me. Emotionally, I felt good. I was like, yeah, I got it, but spiritually, I was like, okay, God, now what you want me to do?
The
Because
next thing.
the next
That's
thing,
right.
like what else? How else do you want me to reach people? And that's how things happen for me emotionally and spiritually when it came to those awards. Yeah.
Hey man, first of all, I'm gonna give you a round of applause for that answer and having that mindset.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
If more people had humility like that when they
Yeah.
win awards, there wouldn't be so much cockiness about them in the first place.
You know what? Because I'm gonna say this real quick. So when people now the way things are now with awards, you got to pay for those.
Really?
People pay. Yeah, people pay to be in associations to get those awards. That doesn't mean they're going to get the award, but they pay in associations to be in awards like Sigma and all that type of stuff. Sigma, and a few other places to be. It wasn't like that before, but now it's like that where you have to now pay into association to say you are a part of it. Even with the Grammys, you are part of
Wow.
this thing. Yeah, so that's why you may see the same people winning, because it's an associate and they pay money into it. Not saying that they are going to win. It's just that they are still in it because they paid
The
into
money
it.
breeds influence.
Money.
And I've heard this a lot of times, but I didn't know how true that was, So you
Hmm.
kind of confirmed that
Yeah.
for me, that
Yeah.
when it's a payola system in a way. You
Yes,
know
it
what I'm
is.
saying? So that's
So you
definitely
know what, like
crazy.
this. So I'm gonna hit you real quick. So when you watch the Image Awards, you'll see a lot of people being. You'll see people, especially us brown. You'll see us being nominated. Boom, boom, boom. Because one thing and I'm not taking anything away from them, but we love to nominate our own. But you still it's like they have a low budget to pay into it. The Grammys is different, where they pay into it much more, much higherly than the Image Awards. But you'll see people just win it and you win it, and sometimes you may say, well, I don't understand how they won, because well, they paid into it, so that's
Mhm,
basically, yeah, it's
mhm.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
hear my response. I'm doing the Philly Joan like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So wow, it's good to know that you won though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate that a good singer actually won, because sometimes these singers that be winning, they can't even sing a lick or hold a note.
No.
You know
No.
what I'm saying? So that be going
No.
on a lot. So you've shared stages with major artists like Kim Burrell, Karen Clark, Sheard, Ruben Studdard, and more.
Mhm.
What have those experiences taught you?
Well, I'll say this. Not the ones you mentioned, but there were others that I was like, I'm glad I'm not like them. Um I was like, man, I'm going back to my hotel in peace.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
but with the ones you mentioned, they're good people. Sharing the stage with their talents and their gift was awesome. It was awesome because they have some, they have great names in reference to what they do what they do musically what they do music what they do music, because
I
what
get it.
there's nothing,
I get
because
what you're
listen,
saying.
there's nothing listen, there's nothing else that you would you know attach to
Equate it
them
to or know
but
them
just
for.
music, right?
Yeah,
Just music,
yeah,
and that's it. So when people see and hear them as music, oh yeah, they can sing. But when you meet certain people personally and you get to talk to them, you're like, oh, you mean,
yeah.
you doing that for real? Like, your wife. Well, that's what we do. I was like, okay. And so, and not the ones you just mentioned, but there are some, man, there's some others that just, it's
Yeah,
like,
I can
but
imagine. I can imagine. I guess this
yeah,
is why they say never meet your heroes,
never,
or a celebrity
man.
hero or whatever.
And it,
You get
yeah,
to see the
but
real them,
the
and
bad
then you
thing,
realize they're human just like you.
they are human, but here's the thing, though. Here's yes, we are human, but we also have a responsibility. So if you're in front of
That's right.
people, you have a responsibility to still represent who you're singing about. And
Right.
when I tell people that the more effective you is behind the behind scene, and it's basically because it's who you talk to, how you talk to people, and how you deal with people behind the scenes. The audience don't care, they just want you to sing them happy,
Yeah.
but it's more so interacting with people behind the scenes when you're home and when you're out lunch with somebody. People see that stuff, and people don't think people don't know, but I always tell people, especially who are on platforms, don't think people don't know, because
Yeah.
if you because your demeanor and the way you act towards people, it will get out to people, and people are like, nah, I don't want to work with that person. And you're thinking like, oh, they jealous. No, they ain't jealous, they just don't want to work with you because you're mean.
They just don't want to work
So
with you. Yeah.
nah. Yeah, so yeah. But those that you mentioned, they were pleasant to be with. Ruben said is a humble guy. I had him on my show. Very, very humble. Very, very humble, and still to this day. And he's just a regular dude like you and me. Um, Karen Clark, the same person. What you get is what you see is what
Oh,
you
that's
get.
awesome.
Kimberell, the same
Powerful
person.
voice.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, these people are powerful people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome, man. So
yeah.
let's talk about the Culture Talk Show.
Okay,
Let's
let's
talk
go.
about it. What
Yes.
inspired you to start it in 2016?
Uh, I would say that I sat on the couch with a man named Eric Zingler, um and another guy named Marvin, and they were already having a show, and they asked me to come on a show to be a part of this show. It was called Christian Vision Entertainment, and I went on that show, and they introduced me in reference to my gospel albums and stuff like that, and to sing. And I'm waiting backstage. I'm like, "Ah, this is dope. I want to help people." And somebody heard me say, "I want to help people," and they said, "Do you want to help people? Or you want to assist people?" I said, "I want to do both." And they was like, "All right, cool." And I went home after I got interviewed. I went home and I was like, God, I want to help people, that don't get a chance to get their gift out. I want them to experience, talking to people, talking to the audience. So I talked to Eric and I said, "Hey, Eric, I want to do a show." He's like, "All right, he said, write me a proposal." I didn't know how to write no proposal, not like that. So I wrote him one the best way I could. And he was just like, "No, take it back." And I was like, "All right, cool." He said, "Give me a proposal from your heart. What do you want to do?" And I gave him a proposal from my heart. And he was like, "All right, let's do a test run. Just that quick." And I said, "For real?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You need a name." I said, "I don't have a name." He said, "Just give me a name. I don't care where it comes from. Give me a name." And maybe like a week or so, I said, "All right, let's call it the culture because we're going into people's cultures and stuff like that, and they'll help families and homes." So it started like that, where basically they gave me a chance. And from that, they were like, "Okay, you're grabbing people. So let's just keep this thing going." And so from there, it just kept going and going and going, and God kept blessing it. So yeah, that's how it manifested. Yeah,
Hey man, listen, you be having some serious talks on that, John.
yeah, man.
And I appreciate it. Which
Mm.
inspired me to start a mental health show for hip hop and stuff like that because I'm a hip hop
Yeah,
artist. And that's one thing that in hip hop that we don't like to talk about that much. And I
yeah,
knew that,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm a follower of Jesus Christ myself, but
Right,
I also have my secular side to me. So
right,
I
right, right.
started to think, right? How can I get people to open up and talk? Let's talk through music and share experiences and make it
Yeah,
in a way where people can understand and relate. So
right.
that's something that inspired me was the Culture Talk Show. So I wanted to say that to you first of
Oh
all
man, God bless you,
on the
man. To
air
God be the
and let
glory,
you know
man.
that you were one of my inspirations, brother.
Oh
You know what I'm
wow, that's
saying?
that's a blessing, man. That's a
So,
blessing. Appreciate
if
it.
I had a hat, I would tilt it to you.
Oh
But
man, appreciate
I'm
that.
on my ball ninja right now.
No worries, I'll be there soon. Yeah, I appreciate that though. Yeah, I do.
But yeah, man, I appreciate the talks that y'all have and the realism that y'all have in within the show. So
I'm gonna
let
say
me
this
ask you.
though. I'll say this to you real quick though. I've been on a lot of talk shows, and some of them were like in the frame of, "So I heard this and I heard this," and but
Yeah.
you're asking questions. It's not like you heard it, but you ask. So I'm gonna say this, like, I'm thinking like you've been in this thing for a while because the way you're asking questions. But most people, they're like, "Yeah, so I heard," I'm like, "Are you Jennifer?" But I heard, people just like, asking. No, I heard, people would come on and say, yo, so I'll lie that to you real quick. I gotta say this. I don't know if the dude got this talk show or not, but I was on one talk show, and the dude, boy, was like smoking, and that's cool. That's your talk show. He was smoking like
Yeah.
some weed or whatever. He's like, you smoke? I said, no, nigga, like, ask me the questions. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, yo, he said, you sound like I got attitude because you smoke. I'm trying to get my
Yeah,
questions.
you smoke and I don't smoke.
Yeah.
That's
So
a whole problem within itself. Like,
and he was like, oh no, we do that on the show. And he had some prominent people on the show, but they smoke too. I was like, no, I don't smoke. But so I want to commend you on what you're doing because it's great. I mean, you got it. Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. I was doing radio on the Eric Echoes morning show.
Okay, see,
That was
yeah,
airing
there you
in
go.
Huntsville, Alabama for
Okay.
almost 2 years. And
And you
then
got the sound for
once
it
he
too.
stopped,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Once he
Yeah.
stopped, I just figured out I'm gonna try my hand at radio and podcasting. And at first, like that same feeling that you was having about jumping out the window and not being able to do it, I had that same experience.
Yeah.
I went through it and I was like, I don't know. And they were saying, you got the voice for it. You could talk. Go ahead. You like to talk to people anyway. Do it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
But, here we are, 200 plus episodes, and I'm here,
Wow. Congratulations, man.
So I'm thankful to the Lord for that because I had some people in my corner as well that told me I could do it. Don't give up. The days that I felt like not doing the show, they like, nah, you can't do that. Get up and go do it.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful to the Lord for that, man, because without them being in my life, I probably would have stopped a long time ago.
Wow.
So, yeah, man, I appreciate that. All right.
Absolutely.
So here's my next question for you.
Okay.
Mental health is a major issue in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
How have you protected your peace while navigating the industry?
Wow. Well, there are a few different types of, well, it's not a few different types, but I would say for me, there are two different types of peace. And the peace that you get with God, and he there's a thing that he protects you with, and he'll let you know that things are going to be okay. And then there's a mental peace for you. I think that you get a lot of peace when you can have the courage to say no, not this time, or I'm not mentally there,
Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought this up because we don't talk about that, the mental health issues, especially
absolutely.
in Black families,
Yeah,
and we used to laugh at, the white folks that would go to, the therapists and, psychiatrists, like we need it too,
we
because,
need it.
man,
Listen,
we
I got a
do.
therapy appointment tomorrow.
Bruh, I got one next week. So, so, um, but it's, I would say that the peace that I have now is responsibility for me to say no, or for me to say yes, or for me to say, because there's a boundary. I think that when
Yeah,
you set boundaries with people, that's when peace comes, and you can think, clearly, because you set the boundary.
yeah,
And most people don't like boundaries,
that's a fact.
because
Or
they think,
respect them at
yeah,
all.
yeah, because they think you're being mean, but like it's like, no, you are really protecting the peace that you have down here. Like, hold up, nah, I got to do this, and then because if I don't protect my peace for me, I can't be there for you. I can't show up for you, and I need you to let me show up for you. But I need you to accept and know that I can't be with you at the moment. I got to go somewhere and just sit somewhere, and I sit in, when I'm in Philly, I sit in the what's that called, the Rittenhouse Park or whatever, and I'll just sit there
Yeah.
and just chill, because there are times I need to, like, and I cut off my phone, and I'm just, okay, I need to just chill. I live in Delaware, so there is like a waterfall not too far from where I live, so I'll go down there sometimes and sit there and just kind
Sound
of
like
like
you live
chill.
near Claymont.
Yeah, so yeah, bro, so I chill and just, I just, mentally, gather myself together. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a wild guess, but as you can tell, I've been around the tri-state a bit.
There you go. There you go.
All right. But yeah, that's dope, man. You know, having that peace and tranquility is a cool thing. When I was in Philly, I used to go to the waterfront near the Mashalou and just sit there and just watch the birds
There you go.
and just listen to the quiet. I used to go when it
Yep.
would be late though. And you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people take their girl there, you know, but
Yeah.
I used to just do it just because by
Right.
myself. And
Right.
it's just only a peace that God can give you when you have that stillness inside and you understand that you
Yeah.
need that moment to yourself. No
Right. Right.
distractions, no interruptions, no calls, no nothing.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
fire, man. All right, so let's talk about some of the interviews you did. You interviewed
Okay.
Melba Moore,
Yeah.
Jacqueline Carr,
Yeah.
Vanessa Bell Armstrong. What was that like for you?
You did your homework.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen,
um.
man. That's what I do. The
Um.
pot.
I,
You lucky we ain't on stirring the pot because it be music playing and then we come right off the interview. So yeah, I soon saw you did this, and then you be like, "Dang, how you know about
yeah.
that?"
So those interviews were they were exciting. But I don't know.
Which
I
one
think
was
I'm
your
a
favorite?
what favorite Melba.
Okay.
Um, Melba because and this is not to take away from any others, is Melba because she came on just real. You know, and not saying the other ones didn't, but the other ones had like I gotta go. I gotta go. Melba was like, "Hey, you got me." You know, even though she had a busy schedule, she was just like, "You got me. What you want to ask?" You know, and she didn't say what you want to ask, but once we came on, I was like, "Hey, welcome to Legend," and she was like, and I said, "How does it feel?" She said, "Well, you should know how I feel." I said, "I don't." You know, so there were things that she asked, you know, us, me and one of my co teams, and you know, she was just talking about her family, you know, how she wasn't close to her family and she didn't know her father and all that type of stuff. And she was just opening up about a lot. And even when she was with, you know, who she dated and all that type of stuff and how she felt vulnerable. And so that moment with her and her her interview was supposed her interview was supposed to go 15 minutes. Man, she went from 15 minutes to like 45 minutes to the point the next person we had waiting,
Mm.
they was like, we're gonna hang up. And then I said, oh man, so I had to bring that person back and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna bring you back. And luck, you know, not luckily, but God blessed to the point where they was like, no, I can, you know, sit here and wait. Because I had told them who was on. And they was like, oh no, I'll wait, that's fine. So but she's a conversationalist and I like that about her. But she was out of the ones you mentioned, she was my favorite. She was my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope. That's dope,
Yeah.
man. All right. So, what you enjoy more, being an artist or the interviewer?
The interviewer.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's like I get to be a different side of myself that people don't
Yeah.
really see, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
people know who the artist is, but this
Yeah.
side is like, whoa, like this is how your mind really thinks, and
Yep.
they get to see that. I
Yep.
think that's dope.
Yeah.
So, what's your
And
reason you like to be the interviewer?
because I get to talk, you know, and I don't have to always, hey, can you sing? I don't feel like singing, you know. I mean, because I mean, one, I sing at my church all the time. So, and so when I go around, when I go to certain events, people like, you gonna sing? No, I ain't singing. Like that person up there already singing. So what you need me in for? But I just like doing it because it allows me to sit down. It allows me to just get to know the person, you know, and they get to know me. And even off camera, I just like to talk to people, you know. That when I am doing or when I am around people when it comes to the field, you know. But other than that, yeah, I like it. It's just dope. Yeah, it's dope. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire, man. And being yourself is always cool.
Yeah, yeah,
especially in this type of setting.
yeah, yeah.
Being in this setting, it can be hard too. And for
Mhm.
those that don't know, because a lot of people think podcasting is easy. No, 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 sir. It
Mm-mm.
is very hard. And
Yes, it
you have
is.
to deal with multiple personalities.
Yes, you do.
You have
Yes,
to
you
deal
do.
with the days that you feel down, you still have to keep your
Yeah.
energy up.
You talking,
So
bro.
it's a
You
lot of
talking.
work that goes
You
with it.
talking.
So please understand that podcasting is not as easy.
You talking.
There are a lot of podcasters that are successful, but they're not professional. Let's keep it all the way a thou wow there.
Yep. You're absolutely
You
correct.
know,
Yep.
but there's still a lot of moving parts that go to it.
Yeah.
So I understand exactly what you mean and how it feels, because people want to see the other side of you. Yo, spit something. And I'm like, I'm in that mood, dog. Like, I ain't come here to rap. I came here
Right.
to talk.
Right. There you go.
And if I want you to hear me rap, I'll play one of my music videos before the episode starts.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that depends. That's very rare.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my next question.
Okay. Come on.
All right. Let me get to it. Solo Dolo Can for Bashir again. Yo, did they call you Cher when you was younger?
In high school. Yeah. In high school, they call me
See,
Cher.
that's that
Yeah.
Philly tone. That's the Philly.
Yeah.
Y'all know this lingo we talking about. That's
Yeah.
the Philly lingo.
Yeah. Cher.
Yo, Cher.
Yep.
Yo, cuz. Everybody is cuz in Philly. Y'all
Everybody.
need to know that. Everybody is cuz. Yo,
Everybody
cuz.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my next question, man. Your quote is legacy is who you've touched. Success is who you're touching. What does that truly mean to you?
Well, so if you look at again Michael Jackson, or you look at Whitney Houston, you look at people like Liza Minnelli, you look at uh Frank Sinatra, you look at these people only did not just leave their music talents, they left what they did for the community. I say this because I met a lot of people, and still do meet a lot of people, where they think success is car, house, jewelry, girls,
Mm-hmm.
material things. And I always tell people, how is that success for you? That's an accomplishment. And technically, and I would tell people, technically, when you look at it, I ask this question to especially a lot of men. I'll say, you have these things. Now let me ask you a question. When you leave here, what who's gonna have your stuff? Who's gonna have your girl? Because your girl may get married again. Who's gonna have, your car and your house? They would say, oh, I don't know. Then that's not success.
It's not
And
success.
it's not. And I told them, and I say, and they was like, yes, it is. No, it's not. That's just something you
Success
accumulated
is the lessons you leave behind that
behind.
people carry and follow until the end of their days.
Yep. And so yeah, it's
That's true
basically who you
success.
touching. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So success, and yeah, you just said it. And the legacy is people, who you have touched. So it all just kind of like goes together. And I think most people have them again, that mindset where it's just like, no, I met a brother, and he just kept saying, I just want to do it. I just want to be out there. I just want to be out there. I just want to be out there. And I'm like, for what? And he's like, cuz I want people to know my name. I said, well, don't go rob a store. And he was like, no, no. He said, what you talking about? I was like, I mean, you want it that bad. And I'm like, you're missing the whole point, because, you really don't get anything by your name being out there. I know a lot of people, names out there, but I know what they do too, and they're not really successful personally. So that's what that means to me. You have to really, you have to touch people. People, you don't know their story until they tell you, and you don't know who's watching you. So you have to be careful how you present yourself when you are presenting your gift or your talent, because people watching folk. So, and
Right.
they will look like, yo, what's up? So touching people is really important to me. It is really important to me. That's a important thing, and I think I got it from my mom, but I got it from my dad too, because my dad did everything for people until he died. So, yeah, that's just it's embedded in us as kids. Yeah,
Man, that's fire. You know, and I
yeah,
can relate as far as feeling like you want to touch people. I'm gonna share something with you because you don't know this.
absolutely.
I got shot in the back of my head in 2011.
Wow,
Lost a piece of my brain behind that, right? And
wow.
the way God saved me, I always look at it as He knew what my purpose was. He did a 360 for me.
Mm.
You know, I was leaning more towards the street life. I'm from South Philly. You know how South Philly carry.
Yeah.
I was leaning that way, got shot in South Philly, and then when I survived, I went back to it stupidly.
Hmm.
But the thing that God knew was when those that really cared about me would get tired of that and would really get to me.
Mm.
So it was like kind of like a Will Smith moment. Like, look,
Yeah, yeah,
on the Fresh Prince, like, yo, you gotta go down here, like you gotta go somewhere because this
yeah.
ain't it.
Right.
And that's what it was for me. And that was
Wow,
the moment I decided to grow up too, coming down south, changed my life
wow,
completely. And I thank the Lord for that because had I
wow.
not, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Wow,
You know
you walk
what
a
I'm
miracle,
saying?
man. No, walk a miracle. That's yeah,
Yeah. So I
that's
thank the
major.
Lord for that. And
Yeah,
I'm thankful to be having a conversation like this with you, because it's
yeah,
very real, you
yeah,
know, and I like talking to authentic people.
yeah.
All right. One more question because I know you gotta go.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You got.
All right. What advice would you give the artist silently struggling with mental health? And do you feel as if successful people in entertainment hide pain behind the spotlight? So that's a
Mm.
two-part question, but it's
What
really one question.
advice? Yeah. So, what advice I would give to a person silently struggling? Right? You said.
Mhm. Yeah,
I would tell them to put music down. Put your talent away for a little bit until you're able to mentally show up. Because if you are and people write songs, and they do certain things, and that's okay. But if you again, we back to Michael, but if you heard Michael's songs, you heard Biggie songs, you heard Tupac songs, they struggled within their songs but never got help behind the
absolutely.
scene. you know they was like, hey, help me, I'm telling you to help me, but no one was helping them. They like, yeah, come on, keep bringing it, keep bringing it. You know what I mean? California, keep bringing it. I want you, but they never got help behind the scene.
You know
So,
why?
go ahead.
They fed them the lie. Pressure
Yeah,
makes diamonds.
yeah, yeah. They
You
did.
got it. But go ahead,
Yeah,
continue because I
yeah.
definitely cut you off. I
No,
apologize.
no, 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 no. You good, but yeah, and you're right. Pressure does make diamonds, but I also, think that that's why it's important that you put yourself put whatever you got, your talent and your gift, put those aside for you, because those things don't matter if you can't show up for people, and I think Jennifer Lewis said it the best. She struggled with bipolar, but
I
she had
love her.
told people, yeah, whatever you're doing, put stuff down, and then so you can show up for people, and I say that those lines because that's a true statement. So for the artists that's struggling silently, say something to somebody, because if we hear it in your songs, we gonna like, yeah, like, we gonna eat it up, but you still gonna be dying inside, and we don't, God forbid, we don't want you to kill yourself, because it's real. And so many artists have really killed themselves with drugs, and and just so many other things, because that was the only thing that was helping them rather than people. Um, the other thing is that successful people, um, they have mastered in making it look successful. They've
Yeah.
mastered in making it look successful, and I believe that we did it to them because we when we become fans, we just want more. We're like, just give us more. Like they telling Rihanna, give us an album. She's like, no, I'm with my, I'm having kids.
Yeah.
Give us an album, give us an album.
I
And
gave y'all 10 years of the industry. I need 10 years of being a mom.
that's all I want to do. Even Jill Scott, she was on the a stage, and there's a clip going around. It's old, but she was like, "Hey, I saw 16 episodes already." So people, they just want more, but they don't know, like, this right here is messed up.
Yeah.
Successful people, they like to hide it with the money, they like to hide it with the jewelries, and they going through, they going through some stuff. And I always tell people, and people, especially when I meet people of stature, like, I said it to one boy, I won't say his name, but I told him, I said, man, you dying. And he's like, no, I know you're dying. He's like, yeah, you're right. I'm just saying, but I still gotta get this money. All right, well, when you die, somebody else gonna get it. So I need you to stay alive as long as you can. So that way, you can help your family and all that type of stuff. So there are a lot of people, and I'm gonna say this real quick. I don't know who I know people are listening. I'm gonna say this. Stop thinking that people that you see are successful are rich. They are not rich.
That's right.
They are not rich. Trust me when I tell you, I've ate with people who are high statue. Like, yo, you going to McDonald's? Well, hey, what you want to do? So, I don't want people, because people really think that, yeah, they don't. They do not have it. They're working
Yeah.
like
Towards it.
yeah, they towards it, but they also work in some side jobs, but they just not gonna tell folk they doing it. But
Yeah.
yeah, don't rich famous don't mean rich. It just means that you just famous. I'll say this, and
And
I'll
a lot
I'll
of
say
people
that
get credit off being famous.
they do, but they
Oh
broke.
yeah, the mill is on me.
They Hey, but I'll say this, that when people do that, most in most instances, they're saving face. I know a lot of people who have bought cars, and they 1 week from repossession. you know but they ain't gonna tell you that. They gonna make sure
Yeah.
they post it and say, yeah, this my it's my it's my car.
Yeah.
Like, and
This is
but
my
I
race.
know.
You see
Yeah,
me in the race. Yeah,
yeah
man.
yeah and I know, like, you just show me your letter. But
Yeah.
it's not for me to say that. It's just that, like, no, just be real with the people. Just tell them, hey,
Yeah.
listen, I ain't got it. You ain't even gotta
Yeah.
say
If
you
I ain't
got it.
got it,
Just,
I ain't got it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
definitely sound biting that part.
yeah. So
Just be
yeah.
real. If I ain't got it, I ain't got it.
You ain't got it. That's it. Yeah.
Straight
Yeah.
like
So
that.
yep.
That's Philly talk. We talking straight Philly talk today, y'all. Hey, listen, man. This
Yeah.
was definitely a pleasure having you on, Bashir. You know what
Absolutely,
I'm saying?
man.
And if it's one thing life has taught you, what is that and why? Final question.
Mm, mm. Life has taught me, and still is teaching me, that family matter. Family matters. And if you have it, make sure you love them. Because the world's cold. The gospel industry is cold. There's no blankets in that. There's no blankets in the industry. There's no blankets outside. It's cold. And but if you got family that's like, I mean, y'all may fight, fuss and stuff like that, but if you go down in the fight and they there, that's family. If they are there to help you fight, you need to, like, think about that. Like, yo, y'all came out, yeah, we gonna have you fight. We don't like you, but we still, so that's something you want to, like, say, hold on, let me take in consideration. But life has taught me to cherish family. and to also love me. I used to be very I can't, how can I say it? I had some self-esteem issues, and but
I
as I
can
got
relate.
older, yeah, as I got older, I'm like, nah, like they don't care, and so because now people have this thing where like, Basha, you just don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's just that as you get older, you like that don't matter. What you talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? So yeah, I think now life is just like, okay, what matters? If this don't matter, then let's not talk about that. So yeah, that's where I am with life. Yeah. Yep.
Hey, man, I want to thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
This was
Absolutely.
definitely a dope conversation. Tell the people where
Yeah.
they can find your show, man. Let me put the solo dolo on you. Tell the people where they
Absolutely.
can find your show and anything else.
All right, no problem. You can go to Spotify and just go to Spotify and then put a link. You'll see it. The Culture Talk Show with CTF TV. Most rarely, more so CTF TV. You'll see it there. And yeah, my Bashir Hogue. You'll find me on Instagram, and I'm not on too many socials like I used to be, but definitely Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, that's it. Yeah. You can find
Hey,
me.
man,
Yeah.
thank you once again. Thank you for
Absolutely,
coming
man.
on.
It was a pleasure. I had fun, man. I had fun.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just let me know.
I'm gonna end the show off, but don't hang up just yet because I need to ask you something. But
Okay.
it's gonna be quick. I got you. I ain't gonna be
All
long.
right, cool. All right, cool. No problem. You
I'm gonna
good.
end it out real quick though.
All right, no
All
problem.
right, folks. I hope y'all enjoyed this show. This was popping. This was a great talk, great energy. And listen, we talked about the culture, just like Mr. Hogue do. You know what I'm saying? So we did what it do. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode like I did. This conversation was one of a kind. This is definitely one of my episodes I consider a gem episode. And I'm going to start putting a little gem up in the corner, like where you see my logo right here. I'm going to start putting a little gem there when it's a gem logo. But once again, as always, this episode was brought to you by Hollywood TV, Hollywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, 105.7 The Phase. And as always, it's your boy Tigmatic. This is The Pot. Put God first in your life, and everything will be all right. Peace.
What's up, y'all? Tune into the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic.
For the Pop Podcast with your boy Tigmatic. Interview.
Pop Podcast, stirring the pot.
So tune in to the Pop Podcast with Tigmatic on Hollywood TV.
Tune in to the Pop Podcast with my boy Tigmatic.
And Going In Radio. You might get some good music and some knowledge.